Hey, you ever sit there playing a Muso game, pressing square and triangle over and over, as you watch droves of brain-dead AI trying and failing to poke at you with their tiny little swords, while you swing the anime equivalent of a Toyota Tacoma in weapon form and think to yourself, man, I wish I was dead. Well, do I have a treat for you today? We're gonna look at one of the absolute worst Muso clones in existence, Undead Knights for the PSP. Also known as the portable nut, if those cracked out squirrels are to be believed.
I'm playing nut, but there's portable nut.
To make sure people are up to speed, I will now explain what a Muso game is. It's Dynasty Warriors. That's it. Sengoku Muso. You press square and triangle a lot. Things on screen dry in droves. Okay, moving on. Undead Knights was developed for the PSP by Now Production, a Japanese contract development and outsourcing company with a number of hits and misses under their belts, having their hands in many questionable pies, aiding in the production of many Katamari titles, a few of the Mario baseball games, and of course, Sonic Riders.
Oh no!
A majority of their titles have been them aiding in other developers in one way or another, not making their own game. In comes our second player, Koei Tecmo, because, of course, you can't have a Muso game without the Dynasty Warrior publishers themselves. I'm sure they will make sure this game is of the highest quality. In Undead Knights, you play as one of the Bloods, a well-known group of anti-simps consisting of Romulus, a walking unit of a man clad in full armor and one-handing a two-handed sword because it looks cool, his brother, Remus, a bisexual goth boy with twin daggers, and Remus's wife, Sylvia, a scythe-wielding badass bitch, and no, I'm not biased because it's my kink. Shut up. Romulus, being the absolute Chad that he is, noticed that King Gladius started simping for his new Twitch dummy mommy, Fatima. A really unfortunate name for her, but you can see why the king pledged all his donations. King needed some new tracts of land. Romulus tried to reason with the king, who, unfortunately, was under the simp spell, to send his entire army out to completely wipe out the Bloods. I should also point out that Sylvia is married to Remus, but she's actually the daughter of the king, so effectively he doomed his own flesh and blood to a horrible death because Alamidi over here told him to. This is why you don't simp. However, on the battlefield, while lying together, dying, the Bloods make a pact with an unseen demon vying for power to get their revenge. And they are granted such from the beast. They become undead knights, ready to rip and tear till it is done. Or until you throw your PSP in frustration. Now, for as much I'm going to rip this game apart, the intro and subsequent headbanging metal leaves a good first impression. In fact, if you take anything away from this video, it's to look up the music, all of which is done by a band called Lightning Swords of Death.
Awaken, my child, and take the gift I have bestowed upon you. Together, we will right the injustice you have suffered.
They will pay, every single one of them. Hell hath no fury like this bitch scorned.
Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. Those with whom you choose to share my gift shall become your soldiers in undeath. Cease your suffering and restore balance to the land. What is that thing?
Thus, we start. immediately thrust upon a tutorial trying to show us how different this game is from your usual Muso title. In Undead Knights, you have the ability to grab enemies and turn them into your mindless Walking Dead minions. You can then use these minions in various ways, such as slamming them down into the ground to cause an area of effect, or throwing them across the map to stun enemies, or commanding them to swarm targets. One could say this is like a more sadistic Pickman. However, the actual use of these systems is bare bones, feeling as if it was tacked on to the core meat of the game, which is swinging your scythe around and swearing like a sailor. Yeah, this game has a real edge to it, though it goes far enough to feel more like a parody in many cases, as if they're completely aware of how nonsense it all is and are just having fun with it. I should note that for a majority of the gameplay you will see, I will be playing as Sylvia. This is because the story makes much more sense with her as the lead, and because I want her to step on me. Undead Knights is spread across 20 chapters, each small enough to be completed in chunks, lending itself to its portable nature. Between the chapters, you can upgrade your characters with points you earn during the game itself, making you stronger and giving you new abilities. You will need these upgrades, as despite the game being pretty bad, it's also not particularly easy in many points. But more on that later. For now, let's explore how the story's going.
Ha! Elite Royal Guard! They're not worth a drop of my piss!
Your men seem to lack your courage in the face of danger, eh, Duke Gloucester?
Indeed. The slightest trifle and they faint like maids. In my day...
In your day, you fought armies of giants. Twice your size and thrice your number. Naked in a sandstorm with only slingshots.
Watch your tongue, Cloud. In my day, we also killed men for saying less.
The Duke is the first major antagonist, and our knight's first target. A rotund buffoon of a man held up in a castle that we have to siege. About the time you get to this castle, you may start to notice how monotonous it is to play this game. While most Muso games have you doing the same thing over and over again, there's something uniquely mind-numbing when it comes to this one. When enemies glow as you attack them, you press the circle button to grab them, instantly turning them into an undead ally and giving you a bit of health back. You'll be doing this as your main finishing move for 99% of the entire game, especially on higher difficulties. If you're not doing this, you're not getting health back apart from random pots you find on the ground here and there. And some enemies can take off nearly a fourth of your entire health bar in a single attack. No, the actual reason one would play this game is the story, believe it or not. As the premise starts out crazy and ends up batshit insane by the end. If you thought I was joking about simping, you ain't seen nothing yet. So come with me on this journey into madness.
Worthless guards these days. Who are you? What are you?
What? Did you forget the gifts you sent me on my wedding day?
A ghost of the House of Blood? Oh, this cannot be! You! But you've got the wrong old man! It was the king! The king! And the queen, Fatima! That parasite! He lost his will to her! His mind! He destroyed your house for speaking out against their rule. It was all his doing, their doing, Fatima and the king!
And you grudgingly complied, purely out of devotion to my father.
It's true, my duchy was compensated for our part. But that doesn't mean we did it gladly. You deserve compensation as well, of course. There must be something I have that you will take in trade.
Sure, hand over both your lungs and we'll call it even.
Most boss fights in this game follow a set pattern. Throwing your undead at the boss can stun them. You can also slam the undead into the ground near them to make them fall over and take some extra damage. But for the most part, it's a war of attrition. Vayne, I hear you cry. You absolute chode. Why are you not blocking attacks? Ah, my dear, that is the secret of this game. The PSP has 4 face buttons, 2 triggers, a D-pad, a nub stick, start and select, volume control, media control, and a power switch. And not a single fucking one of them lets you block. You're supposed to block by grabbing an undead and holding it up in front of you, but that's about as useful as a cum-flavored suppository, so you might as well accept that you're going to take damage.
Now you've been paid in full for what you did. This blood coursing through my veins, it's not human. What have I become?
Yes, you are no longer human, my child. You are something far greater. You carry my blood and the power to bring justice to this world. Go forth and reclaim what you have lost. Your path is a righteous one.
So, with the Fat Man dead, we're off to the next part of our grand murder tour, taking out the Knights of the Holy Tree, a group tasked with protecting the King and Queen, as well as the mythical Holy Tree, which is said to give untold power to any who eat its fruit. Queen Fatima is said to be the tree itself made flesh, meaning if you think too hard about all this, you'll somehow arrive at 4, which I'd rather not think of, so let's move on.
Brothers, by now I'm sure you've heard. Whatever force has decimated the lands of Gloucester now threaten our borders. Their strength is great, but it is nothing next to the power of Fatima. We must stop this advance, brothers, in her name. I ask that you, my Elite 3, pledge your lives to the cause.
My shield, my strength, and my life exist to serve her.
With her on our side, the Knights of the Holy Tree cannot fail.
My heart is with the others, Father. I fight for you and our Queen.
Romulus blood, my old brother in arms. What power compels your corpse? Some unholy curse? Or might it be justice to punish us for our treachery?
Why, Captain, I thought Fatima was infallible. Surely you wouldn't be second-guessing her orders? Don't forget your oath, or her little gift.
The fruit of the Holy Tree. I pray I won't have to use it.
As expected, you carve up all 3 of the Elite Knights, who don't have much to say, other than calling you a monster. Which, to be fair, yes, you are. But more importantly, we're not simps. That's what matters at the end, goddammit. I mean, I may be chewing on the brains of this man, but that's the price I'll pay. I may be cringe, but I'm free.
So, it's as I feared. Francesca, come then, and name yourself Blood.
Yes, a blood by marriage, but bloodied by your brothers.
I did not ask for this.
I never asked for this.
But was you lot that came to me, blaspheming Her Highness with your stories of her manipulating the king.
And you told my father!
Yes, I betrayed you. You have every right to judge me. But the others, my Francesca, how many more innocents must die? If I fall, will you cease your mad crusade?
Not until your precious Fatima, my father, no, not until everyone has paid!
Then I have no choice. I must give myself to her power.
Alright, let me ow! Having consumed the fruit, our good knight has transformed into a beast, and oh golly gee is he a bit of a difficulty spike. When I spoke before about enemies being able to fuck you up at higher difficulties, this was one of them. Even on normal mode he kicked my ass quite a few times. This was before I invested more points into healing on transformations, however, which helps a lot in the end.
What was that?
Now you've seen the true horror of Fatima. Behind her lies a power not of this world. I betrayed you. Not because of any blind faith in the Queen, but because I was afraid. Afraid of the power she wields.
That's enough. It's over now.
Run. Fatima's vanguard, the walking dead, will come for you. She has forsaken this land.
Oh shit, Fatima also has zombies. Such introduces a new enemy type that can't be transformed. Also, allow me to let you listen to what they sound like. Yeah, it's, not pleasant. Mixed with the never-ending metal music and the scythe attacks, there are times you can barely hear yourself think. This game is so loud that there's not a single moment of gameplay that isn't peaking the audio. Still, the zombies themselves are not too hard to deal with, and soon enough, we make it out of the knight's castle.
Those walking dead just now. Does Fatima share this power as well? Father.
Do not lose yourself along the path, my child. Cast aside your doubts and embrace your power.
Into the third act, we head to the land of Dracoon, ruled by another lord named Follis, a man of science, an absolute fucking nerd who brought back genetically enhanced men from another land. They are literally built different, like that of a snake. So obviously they are called the Order of Ouroboros. I'm fucking sorry. What? You wanna run that by me again? No? Okay, we're just gonna go with that. Alright. This is our life now.
Just as our Lord read in the stars, the rabble scarcely slowed your assault. But now you face the Order of the Ouroboros, and the end of your little siege. I confess excitement to finally face a foe of breeding and distinction, as close to worthy as any have come.
but you will die like a dog, all the same.
This guy actually isn't a boss, just a regular enemy you'll be facing now and again. I know it may seem like I'm skipping over enemies and gameplay, details like that, but trust me, you're not missing much. Again, if you played a Dynasty Warriors game, nearly every enemy you come across is old hat. The levels around this lord are somewhat interesting. There are traps everywhere, but you deal with every trap the same way, by sending your undead to deal with it for you.
It seems your upper class has been dismissed, my lord.
Calm yourself, fool. These results match my calculations. The Ouroboros are, after all, but an experiment. A prototype, if you will, of my true masterwork.
Oh, you still hope to surpass Fatima's power? For a man of science, you possess astonishing faith.
These days I take interest in precious few things, fool. But to harness a force of nature, to bend it to your will, this battle, this grand experiment, will be my ultimate achievement.
I'll be sure I stick around for the whole bloody climax!
One eternity later.
Impressive. Your pact has served you well. Those of the Void have such power.
Keep talking.
I know a bit about the source of your power, that which exists in the Void. Such a gift, and you squander it on base desires and petty emotions. I have long studied it, your power. It is not magic. There are fundamental principles that govern that power. It can be tamed and utilized by a capable intellect. No offense intended, of course.
Oh, none taken.
Join me in my research. Together we could rule this world.
Fuck you. No offense intended, of course.
Nothing but blind passion. It's just as I expected. Root of the holy tree, grant me your power!
That's the same fruit Gerard had.
After absolutely wrecking a nerd verbally, he turns once more to the fruit, becomes a massive monster. Still a pain, but by now you should have enough built up points from previous missions to have your main blood supercharged for boss shredding.
A slight miscalculation on his part. Perhaps he forgot to carry the tube.
You up next? There's plenty to go around.
A pleasure to finally make your acquaintance. I'm such a huge fan of your work. Why, I know everything about you. What happened at the Marriage of Blood, for example? That is to say, what really happened.
Out with it, clown!
It's true that the Blood Brothers were bloodied by the King's men. But the knight who killed Sylvia that night was none other than Romulus Blood. What was your line about all those responsible for the massacre again? No forgiveness? Certain death? Something like that. I remember it was quite colorful. Ah, well, I'm sure you have some family matters to discuss. I'll be off then. See you in Cavalier.
Sylvia, it's true. At the Marriage of Blood, I killed you.
But why?
There, in all the chaos, I searched for the two of you. But when I finally found you, it's too horrible for words. The soldiers, they had you, Sylvia. They were... With the last of my strength, I hacked them all to pieces. But in my exhaustion and rage, my final blow went wild and cut you down.
Then why bring us back? For revenge? Or out of guilt?
I expect justice for all those who wronged you. All those who wronged you deserve death.
Are you asking us to kill you? After all this? The slaughter? Everything? Besides, you looked in a mirror lately? You're already dead!
It wasn't your actions that led us here now, Romulus. It was fate. And now it's the fate of our kingdom that hangs in the balance. This isn't just about personal vengeance anymore.
My children, why do you wallow in the past? Forget your human troubles and seek your revenge, your salvation.
Okay, so, a lot to cover there, as I get speared by knights. With the nerd dead, we learned the truth from the clown. Romulus killed Sylvia accidentally in a fit of rage. I'm sure everyone can glean the reason for his rage from the subtext of that cutscene, but it's a rather brutal addition that goes so that some of the people behind this game had heart and soul and cared about telling an interesting and thought-provoking story about the cycle of revenge. I'm interested to see how this might turn out.
12 seconds later.
O Saint Fatima, ye of wisdom and bosom, grant your faithful servant the strength, the courage, the testicular fortitude to slay thine enemies in thy mercy. Amen.
Okay, never mind. I take back everything I said. I don't want to know where this is going. I want off this train. I want off now. Let me out. Okay, yeah, sure, that's fine. It's perfectly normal. That's that's the thing that happens. Alright. God, what the fuck is this game?
So I see blood comes before justice after all. Devil worshipper, mass murderer, and now hypocrite. And yet the monster still considers itself the hero, yes?
What would you know of heroics, clown?
Oh dear, I am so deeply hurt. We have so much in common, you know. We both dabble in the power of that undying existence in the void. Why, I myself was a test subject for my dear sister Fatima's daring research. So many ingenious and agonizing experiments. But I was glad to submit to her, to make my flesh a canvas for her work. It was years of torment. Sweet, exquisite torment. Though it did leave some scars.
Like I give a shit, you disgusting toad.
Fatima is no saint, but well, she's family. Now, I believe it's time for my bloodbath!
Thus we come to the clown, who turns out to be Fatima's sibling. Considering how he speaks, I suppose we could add implied incest to the board of fucked up stuff, but outside of that, the fight is nothing special. Bitch doesn't even get an ending cutscene. How about that? After fighting through literally every single boss in the game a second time to pad out the length, sometimes fighting two at once, we finally get to the man himself, the king.
Are you of the House of Blood? My body corrupted by the sweet wine that woman gives. I've lost control of everything. I can't even die. You've come for revenge, yes. Please, have mercy. Kill me. My body, my kingdom. I've lost everything.
A shattered man, broken by his desires for his Twitch dommy mommy. A husk of a person, addicted to the sweet wine. The king is nothing more than a simp, a stan. His YouTube recommendations are nothing but VTubers and Cooksy clips. To kill this man is a mercy. Though I gotta say, Grandpa got hands. He's throwing fists. This fight's nothing to sneeze at. Believe me, I sneezed a lot. I was sick when I played this game. Still, if you incorporated the same strategies as you used it with every other boss, you'll be fine. Grabbing a refreshing can of people juice every once in a while to top up your health.
Yes. I repaid your loyalty with betrayal. But still, you served me well. Your vengeance is my deliverance. Your blade, my savior.
Now, Father, it's over.
Now with the king dead, the only one left is Fatima. As you descend into the depths of the castle, you have to fight the most wicked beings of them all, the Cum Knights. Honestly, they're not any different than normal knights, outside of their pure white armor.
So my brother and my husband were not enough. Now you've come for me. But consider this. The holy tree, my greatest creation. The flesh of the damned and the flesh of the living fused into a new form of life. It bears a special fruit with the same properties and power as the beast blood that now flows through your veins. You see, I too once made a pact with the beast and was infected with his blood, just like you. But unlike your corrupted bodies, mine is beautiful, is it not? After many long years of effort, I finally extracted the beast's blood and crystallized it. Behold, this stone is that very blood. With it, I was able to break free from the beast's influence. In fact, I may soon be able to control it. Think what that would mean for the kingdom, for humanity. With both worlds under my rule, man would be free from fear, free from death. This kingdom is but the first step in that plan.
Problem is who your first step stepped on.
You would sacrifice peace for all mankind to satisfy your petty desires, knowing full well the beast itself is pulling your strings?
As long as I get to rip you apart, bitch.
I was afraid you'd feel this way. Then you leave me no choice.
Well, here we are. After much faffing about, we finally made it to the final boss. The Twitch Dummy Mummy has taken off her makeup, infused with her flesh tree. At the side of her are cocoons that can give off some damaging effects, but by the time you destroy both of them, she'll have already respawned a second. So for the most part, the strategy is the same as every other boss, a war of attrition as you slice at the tree, backing up to gain more health from the knights.
Well done. Now, enjoy your triumph. Until your master sends you on his next errand. You have destroyed the one real threat to his power. Make no mistake, the beast is the only true victor here. Your only hope is to touch the stone. It alone can grant you life in this world free of the beast's grasp. You would be free. But you would be hunted for all you've done, in the name of vengeance.
So this was your plan all along?
My child, you saw what happened to your king. Who would desire such a fate?
So my tragedy was your opportunity.
I gave you a gift, child, and one you took willingly. We walk together now, forever.
No, I can never atone for what I've done. But I will not join you.
You think you have a choice? After what you've done?
What, give a girl an unholy power and you think you own her? I'm nobody's bitch.
Sooner or later you'll die again. And guess where you'll end up then? I'll be sure to keep a spot nice and warm for you.
I may have lost my way, but I never lost my faith. I will fight the darkness and chaos even to the very gates of hell. Yes, I died, but I'm back and I will atone as an undead knight.
And thus ends the story of Undead Knights. Now you of course can get slightly different insights by playing the other characters, but I don't feel like subjecting myself to that much pain. It only took about 5 hours to finish this game, but it felt like 5 years. The combat is bland and repetitive, even by Muso's standards. But for as terrible as the combat is, there is a nugget of fun to be had with the dialogue and story. Still, that's not enough for me to recommend this game to anyone. Though after all that, through the hardships and heartbreaks, I am left with just one burning question. Who the fuck is MM the Chicken Tickler?